Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Just wanted to talk briefly about COVID-19 and my condolences to Mr. Jason Hargrove's family. I got the Yahoo notification in my inbox because this is one of the ways I get my news. I did not see Mr. Hargrove's 8-minute long video on Facebook. I only found out about it after I got the Yahoo News article in my inbox. There are a lot of people who are still not taking COVID 19 seriously. Mr. Hargrove was saying while on his job, he is a Detroit bus driver. A lady came into the bus and she was just coughing and sneezing openly. You still have people doing that today, even with it become COVID 19 being a pandemic. You still have people doing it. Healthcare workers are still doing it. Civil servants are still doing it. Just people in general are still doing it because that's what they have been doing. That, covering your mouth when you cough and or sneeze, making sure you're not spreading anything to the world. Covering your mouth and your nose is social etiquette. We learned this from kindergarten. We learned this in a home. But you have some people, it's just the norm for them not to do it. And it's late in the game now for you not to be doing it. So Mr. Hargrove, and my condolences to his family, he posted a video on Saturday, March 21st. And by March 25th, he was dead. He died in a hospital in New York alone because some hospitals don't allow visitors. And according to the article, Mr. Hargrove was improving, but unfortunately he passed away. It's just simple to wash your hands. But having said this, the virus can be spread if you're not conscious of what you're doing, because sometimes people are talking and they'll be touching their nose, touching their mouth, touching their face without being conscious of it. And you have a lot of young people, and I'm just going to share an article with you. You have a lot of young people who are taking this thing for granted. So this is an article where Dr. Kirkhope, and she's the head of WHO's Emerging Diseases and Zoonosis Unit. She was interviewed in Geneva, and she had to say that most of the people with severe illnesses in the intensive care unit tend to be older or have underlying conditions. But this is her quote: "What we are seeing in some countries is that there are individuals who are in their 30s, who are in their 40s, and who are in their 50s, who are in the ICU and who have died." So COVID-19 is no respecter of gender, race, your financial status, your level of education, who you know, your family last name, the color of your skin, the job you do. It is no respecter of this. It crosses all boundaries. No respecter of age. Here it says, it is a mistake to believe that the virus only severely impacts older people and those with underlying conditions. And this was said by Dr. Mike Ryan, the executive of WHO's emergency program. The article went on to say in Italy, one of the largest outbreaks in the world, 10% to 15% of all people in the intensive care unit are under 50. In Korea, he added 1 in 6 deaths have been people below the age of 60 years old. So it's time we start taking COVID-19 seriously, and we have to all do our part. I cannot pretend as if I'm invincible and then I might be asymptomatic and I go and interact with other people and infecting them. Washing your hands are extremely important. And sometimes you wash your hand but you're not even conscious that you're touching your face, or it lives on, there's an article that says it lives on surfaces, and it tells you each different types of surfaces it lives on and for how long. I have not posted, and I will not provide a link to that article because I don't know the validity of it, and I don't know how credible how long the virus lives on surfaces. I don't know how credible the time frame is, so I don't want to post that. But you can do your research and find those articles. But here's an example. You can, if someone infected they're going to the bathroom, they touch the doorknob to enter the bathroom after coughing in their hand, which is why it's recommended you use your elbow or a napkin tissue and you throw it away. And you don't hug people, because if you cough in your elbow, the virus is here, you're going to hug somebody and you transmit it to that person. So case in point, person is infected, they cough in their hand, hold the doorknob, the virus is on the doorknob. They go into the bathroom, they turn on the tap to wash their hands. Some people use the bathroom without the toilet without washing their hands. But let's say this person does that. Or either way, don't do it. They come out, whether from the toilet itself, after using the toilet, they tap, turn it on, because not everywhere has the automated one where you just put your hand and it senses the water and it gives you water and soap. So we're going to take all cases into account. So you contaminate the handle that you're going to use to turn on the pipe. The virus is there. And you may touch the soap dispenser, because not all soap dispensers have sensors in them. So you touch the thing, soap dispenser, with the contaminated hand, and you're washing your hand. Now your hand is clean. Then you use the same clean hand to turn off the pipe. Now your hand is recontaminated. You go to exit the bathroom. You touch the doorknob again with your contaminated hand. And then you walk in, you press elevator button, you talk on the whole day, the phone receiver, you're just touching everywhere. And then somebody now, who is very conscious of what they're doing, touches the same door to enter the bathroom. Hand is now contaminated, but that person washes their hand, but they didn't use the paper towel to turn the tap off. So the hand is recontaminated. They did not use the paper towel to open the doorknob to exit the bathroom. So the hand is recontaminated again. And it just spreads and spreads, and they may touch their nose, touch their face. So you have to be conscious of what you're doing. Here at home, I try not to touch my face. But if I have to touch my face because it's itching or, there's discomfort, I wash my hands. And then I dry my hand, and immediately after drying, that's when I touch my face. And the practice has to begin in your home, because if you're conscious of you touching your face while you're at home, that practice carries over to wherever you are. But if you say, okay, I'm home now, so I can touch my face and just be carefree about it, you may go out and do the same thing. So practice doing it in the house first. And all these young people who think they're invincible, just stop it, because you're not invincible. And I think it's selfish of these young people to go on parties, to gather in crowds despite stay-at-home orders, despite curfews. You're selfish, because if you contract the virus, you're going to contaminate or you're going to infect somebody else. And it's not fair. It has to start with me, and it has to start with you. I want to applaud the government of Jamaica, because I grew up in a PNP stronghold. But you don't vote for people because of the party you're familiar with or the community you grew up in. You vote for a leader who you believe will do a better job. So while I grew up in a PNP stronghold, I applaud the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Andrew Holness, and his team. Everybody who is doing their part, the security guard, the janitors, the nurses, the doctors, everybody. Those who are providing food, big up to everybody who's providing food to the healthcare workers. I want to big up the buses who are taking nurses and doctors to work because some of the taxi drivers refuse to carry them, and I'm talking about Jamaica. I want to big up everybody who is playing their part. Doesn't matter who you are. You have certain like nurses and doctors and other health professionals who are at the front line, but there are other persons playing their part too, and I want to big up everybody who is playing their part, even people who are adhering to the curfew hours, those who are self-isolating, those who are maintaining the 6 feet distance. I want to big you up because you're playing your part too. But I must say, Prime Minister Andrew Holness, you're doing a really good job in trying to flatten the curve, and I must commend you because I keep up to date with what's happening at home and measures that have been put in place back home in Jamaica. Some of those measures have not been put in place in other countries at the time when Jamaica had implemented those measures. And it was only like sometimes days or weeks after measures that were put in place in Jamaica have been put in place in other countries. And so I want to commend Jamaica. You're a small island. You have 53 reported cases, and 5 deaths. It could have been more if the government of Jamaica hadn't acted as swiftly as they did. Minister of Health, everybody, I just want to big you up. And it's time the people of Jamaica play their part. Before I close this video, I just want to say, while we talk about the curfew, we have to, I know that the government of Jamaica, people are getting stimulus packages, people are being fed, but on one hand, we know that the curfew's there and you have to maintain your distance, but we have to put things in place where people can still live and survive. So while I'm saying yes, we need to adhere to what the government is saying and the measures that are put in place to flatten the curve, we still have to look at the people who live hand to mouth, the people who, if they don't go out today and get sales, they're going to die of hunger, or they're going to be hungry tonight. So while I'm commending the government of Jamaica, I'm just encouraging the whole of Jamaica to work together so that people who live hand to mouth can still survive, can have food on the table, because the reality is that there are people in Jamaica who can't go buy things in bulk and have 2 weeks supply. So yeah, make we look out for each other. And again, I commend Jamaica, but yeah, there are people who are living hand to mouth and need our help. So big up everybody, just do our part. Doesn't matter who you are, which country you're in, let's all do our part. We can flatten this curve. We can beat this, and we are going to beat this. Okay? One love.